Yeah?
My name is Dr. Galvin. Has anything strange been happening to you lately?
God, yes. Everything resets like it's Groundhog Day.
We were afraid something like that could happen.
How do you know all this stuff?
I built the device and I put a tracker in the box.
I'm so sorry. I'm just a mule.
Well, in any case, I can only help you in one condition.
Anything.
This may take a while.
It's all good, I have nothing else planned. Do you even know what we're stealing?
It doesn't matter, hon. All that matters is that you're getting a nice little paycheck for it.
I think it does matter. Lewis?
No, this is Frank. Are you at the motel?
Unfortunately, things have changed.
What do you mean?
I'm afraid I can't let you have the device.
Sooner or later, I will get you. I have an army.
And I have time.
What's up, guys?
Nerds.
Guess who we got today?
I don't know. I don't even know where we are anymore. I'm just sitting here.
Are you guys ready for this?
No, I'm reading. What do you want?
Exactly. We're interviewing Nick Roberts. Are you joking me? We're having him on our show.
I'm so excited.
Nerd. Look at you nerding out. I love
I
it.
know. He's amazing. And he was one of the authors that I took to St. Jude's with me. And there was so many.
St. Jude's.
Yes. See, I had Myers.
Myers.
There was a lot of people.
Say my last name again.
What?
Say my last name.
Myers.
I thought you said Myers.
Myers. You leave my country.
I took Nick Roberts, Myers.
You leave my country. Trying alone now.
What you doing up there, Chris? You look so cozy and backlit.
Yeah, I am in bed and comfortable. Yeah.
You ready to talk to Nick tonight? And
So, yeah. See this right here, this nightlight?
Is that the go-to?
Me.
You between you had the cowhide the one night that was awesome, and now you got this ambiance. You're so cozy.
Move south.
I love it. I'm so excited, guys. And you know what? You know who else is excited today?
Who?
My baby Grace.
Why is that?
Why is that? Because she got to go get the mail. And when she got to go get the mail, she got a package. And it was, "Look out, kindergarten, here I come." Because since she was just a little baby Grace, she has been part of the Dolly Parton's program. Dolly Parton's Imaginary Library, where every month they ship a book. You know, I know one time she got if you give a mouse a cookie, and that was one of her favorite books that she had. And she got this book today, and it says, "Look out, kindergarten, here I come." And that's where she's going next year because she's getting old, even though she lied to me because she said she was going to stay little teeny tiny.
I will tell you this. So I did the Dolly Parton Imaginary Library with my daughter, and I love it. And Dolly Parton in general, I mean, she is just an amazing human. Love her. So yeah, I think if you have a child or you're getting ready to have a child, go ahead and sign up for it because it is free.
It's absolutely free, and you forget about it because it's just there. It's there every month. Dolly at your door.
Yep.
Bobby, I know you've got a kid's book you want to talk about.
Oh, yes. My boy, he did his own book, which is on Amazon. But which is so cool. What I love about this is, little Gracie likes to Dolly Parton. My boy, he likes to write his own little books for other little kids. And look, he even did his own pictures. So cool.
Nice.
But then you got Nick Roberts, little girl. She does little YouTube videos. It is so nice seeing these young ones reading.
I love it. It's like, if you can watch till the end, if you can bear it, if you can handle it. There's a moment where she yells at the wall for no reason. I'm like, yes, I'm living vicariously. It's raw. It's perfect. I love it. I'm so excited. What else was I? You know what? We're gonna take a break real quick, and then we're gonna jump back on because you know what? We've got. It's Nick Roberts.
Nick Roberts.
That's enough. That's enough of us tonight.
You think he's gonna be able to get to see his daughter? Probably not. It's probably too late.
I don't know, but I've got a bunch of good questions to ask him, and we're gonna find out some wordy and some nerdy things. I know you girls are cooking up some special stuff for Nick.
Oh yeah.
And you get to pick at his brain and pick at his body parts. But right now, we're gonna take a little break, and we'll be right back with Nick Roberts.
Next time on NP Armageddon, we are your source for full coverage of the presidential debate, where the candidates will make their cases to the people. Who should rule Los Angeles? Is it disgraced former president Truby Skullgore?
Actually, I think that's a great idea.
Political activist turned terrorist Hart Fisher?
When do we start? I'll throw a party. I'll get a band. We'll have a keg.
Or elderly statesman Old Man Stimson?
You young punks with your narcotics and your hope for the future. I say.
Moderated by NP Armageddon's own Brian Garcia McMillan Keithley.
Well, ain't this just a kick in the head?
The marketplace of ideas is running low on inventory, and democracy is on back order.
Featuring the voice talents of Harlan Ellison, LeJean, Hart D. Fisher, Barbara Goodson, Heath Corson, Amy Dallin, Tay Zonday, and many, many others.
Hell yeah! Can you dig it? All this and more in NP Armageddon Episode 10, The Presidential Debate.
Welcome back.
Hello.
Hello.
Well, who's more excited? Who reached out? Who said I'm going to talk to Nick?
I did. I got to talk to Nick, and he said yes. Like, he's so freaking amazing.
You know the rule around here, Chris. And Chris knows the rule too. You book them, you bring them out. Do your thing, Bobby Jean.
You guys are going to love this guy. He's amazing. Amazing writer, amazing person, just amazing all the way around. Nick Roberts.
Hey guys, thanks for having me.
Hey, what's up, buddy?
Sorry I'm not Dolly Parton.
Yet.
You are still an awesome human, so.
Well, thank you. And I have used Dolly Parton for Cora, and then I'm using her right now. That sounds horrible that I'm using Dolly Parton. Dolly Parton is graciously sending me and Cora and my 11-month-old books every month, and they love it. So yeah, Dolly rock.
Yes. It is, and they're quality books too, and they're like little kid books, but they have the flap. I love it.
Yeah.
It's perfect.
It actually, they do it for all age groups. Well, not all age groups. They do have a cutoff, but I mean, as far as like infants to young children.
I love it.
Really great.
I tell you what the best thing we did was, since there's all these grandkids and everything around here, my mother went out and got Where's Waldo books for all the kids and gave it to them all the first of Christmas. Now they all just sat there quiet, glued to these books, doing Where's Waldo. I'm like, yes. I'm like, that's brilliant.
That's amazing.
I'm like, so there we go.
I got
Where's Waldo gifts?
Kid this year too, and the same thing happened. I got one for Cora, and she just sat there and stared at it and baffled. So Where's Waldo? Still lives up.
It's not a screen. I'll take it. It counts. That's good stuff. Well, Bobby, do you want to start the rapid fire session and start picking at Mr. Nick
Oh my
here?
God, I'm so nervous too. You're going to hit me as the first one, but I will take the challenge. Okay. Nick Roberts. I feel like I'm about to drill him with the hard questions. What is
I'm
your
ready.
favorite all-time movie?
Pulp Fiction.
Boom! That's so
would've picked
solid.
that.
Yeah, I remember I skipped school in in junior high, and I lived within bike riding distance of a gas station that also rented VHS tapes. And around 11 a.m., I rode across town and rented this movie that had this sultry woman with dark hair on a bed. And I was like, well, this looks cool. And I just rented it, took it home, watched it. And this must have been, 94, 95. And I was blown away. It was the first time I ever noticed someone behind the screen. I noticed dialogue. I was like, there's an art going on here that's not happening in other stuff that I'm watching. And that's what got me into screenwriting.
Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome.
Well, Chris, do you want to ask?
I'll let you go.
You want me to do it?
Yeah.
I'm going to ask the question that I have to ask every single guest, and it's just because there's no wrong answer. I just want to know, in your humble opinion, because there's a lot of talk about what is what and isn't, what is the difference between splatterpunk and extreme when it comes to horror writing?
Isn't it a time period? Like, didn't they classify it as splatterpunk in like the 80s and early 90s, and then it veered over into extreme? Isn't that how they? That's how I've always understood it. Like Jack Ketchup and those guys in the 80s were always referred to as splatterpunk, and so, but like you got like Aaron Biergard and Daniel Volpe and Christiana, and those guys are amazing. And I don't know if they prefer to be called splatterpunk or extreme. I know, like, from a marketing point, like Duncan Ralston, for example, if he puts an extreme horror novel on the cover, from a marketing perspective, fans who want that are like, hell yeah.
Yeah.
Like, give me that. Whereas a splatterpunk horror novel, I don't think holds that same punch that the word extreme does. And I think both of them get negative connotations for people who don't really understand that there's a ton of artistic merit in extreme horror writing.
Right.
They're just blinded by the shock value, I guess.
Just saying, sometimes it all gets over glorified. It's like, don't look at the shock. There's a story in these. Sometimes you got to dig, but sometimes you don't, and you're going to miss out if you just give up.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like anything. It's like with romance books, you got stuff that's more veers toward, like in horror movies, you have like torture porn. So like you have what my wife calls fairy porn, and like these romance books versus something.
They both smiled. You saw that. They know exactly what you're talking about. What I'm like, maybe Twilight? I don't know.
Yeah. So you have somebody's crashing our podcast because she heard that.
I got one here too. Gracie, come here.
The real stars.
Now she runs.
Miss Cora, how are you doing?
That's her. That's Nick's daughter.
How are you doing, Miss Thing?
You are a viral YouTube sensation, and you are hilarious. And when you learn how to do it, I want one of your autographs.
Matter of fact, I'm going to get to meet them, I believe, in Williamsburg, correct? Nick?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And Jason, I will get with Miss Cora, and I will get you one of her bookmarks.
Yes, good, because I already have Nick on my fridge. So I mean, his magnet's there. I got his autograph, but I don't have anything. Cora, he's old news, man. She's the up and coming.
Yep.
She is.
She's the Miley. He's the Billy Ray. Moved on. Bobby, ask him a question before the boss tells us we have to go on break in a little bit.
What's your favorite? No, I'll scratch that. How do you get into the zone because obviously, you're a family man. You got little Miss Cora there, and you, your wife and family life. How do you like get into that mindset to write something like The Exorcist House?
Apple AirPods, noise canceling. Yeah, that's vital. So the trick is, it's kind of like the Incredible Hulk in the Avengers when they ask him, like, how do you turn angry? And he says, the trick is I'm always angry. When I'm like, that's my default mindset. I'm always horror minded. These thoughts are always here. So when I sit down and put in the noise canceling AirPods and just start channeling, it's not like I have to flip a switch. It's I open the floodgates. So it's not like I have to pretend to be this person.
Right.
It's kind of like
it's ready. It's just like, give me my chance at the keyboard here. I got something to say. Nick's like Eminem up there. Like, I got something to say. Get down and he's writing on the bus. He's sketching a pad, a scribble book.
Miss Cora, are you planning on writing any books?
Are you bringing any books to the Williamsburg AuthorCon? Do you have any? Do you know what you're going to write about?
No.
You got some time.
I am so excited to meet you.
All right, you want to go back downstairs?
No.
I got to finish my interview.
No.
So, Nick, I'm going to ask because it's tomorrow, our time, because we're in a time vortex, because by the time this airs, it's going to be over. So we should have put money on it. But are you a football guy? Are you going with the Niners? Are you going with the Chiefs? Or are you going with the I don't even care?
Who are we rooting for, Cora? Why the Chiefs?
Swifty.
Yeah.
Yes, that's karma.
That's her number 2 most requested bookmark design is a Swifty.
Oh.
I love it. It drives people nuts, and I think it's funny because it's it's bringing together people that don't normally get together. And what is better than bringing together weirdos that are just want to enjoy the same thing?
Right.
I have no idea, but I got a message here that says that we have to go to break, and we're going to come back and we're going to rapid fire a bunch of cool stuff and pick Nick's brain. The Exorcist House is in front of me. Break.
Psychotoxin.
Oh no, she felt called out because she was a Swiftie.
I kicked her off. I waited till break and then just threw her right off.
That's enough.
Yeah.
I'm tired of living in your tiny little shadow. This is ridiculous.
Not still my spotlight.
It's bad enough I'm sleeping on the couch and you're in my bed. This is terrible.
For real.
All right, Chris, pick a word, pick a nerd. Ask Nick Robert. This is dope, Nick Roberts.
All right. So when you sit down in your zone to write, do you have snacks or do you not?
Do I what?
Do you have snacks when you sit down to write? And if you do, what snacks?
It depends, because if I write at night, then sometimes, but I always have like some sort of energy drink, because
all right for me.
Yeah, I'm a teacher, and when I'm writing during the school year, it's just so masochistic because working all day, coming home, cooking food, doing the family thing for a couple hours, and then getting the kids to bed, and then it's like 9 o'clock and I'm half dead. So I have my energy drink, I have my AirPods, And occasionally I'll break out the Skittles if it gets really bad, because those will give me a little pick me up. But
Have you tried the freeze dried Skittles? I know you've probably seen it all over TikTok and all over everything.
this is news to me.
Freeze dried Skittles. I'm gonna say it one more time just to put it in the whole world. Alexa, freeze dried Skittles. But they are the most amazing things in the world. You just take a regular Skittle and then they put magic voodoo shit all over it, and it goes poop and pop, and it tastes, and you bite into it, it's like space candy, and it tastes like a Skittle. It's amazing.
He's way too excited about that.
I got my kids it for Christmas because they told me I had to. I'm like, you got it, and they.
So you're a teacher. What do you teach?
English.
What do your students think about you being Nick Roberts? I mean, come on, I would be crazy.
They don't give a shit. I'm the nerdy English teacher. Like the one thing that is cool about writing books and being a teacher is that I have my books, my hardbacks, sitting on like a sound bar behind my desk, and I have like little mini posters behind my desk with my books. And as soon as they see that and then look down at my desk, the name on my desk, and then look up, and they double check, is that Nick Roberts on the desk? Nick Roberts on the poster? Once they realize that I'm an actual author, then it's like it's a ton of credibility.
Did you start quoting Ron Burgundy at him? You're like, I'm kind of a big deal. Yeah.
Yeah. My leather-bound book.
Maybe I know a thing. Maybe this is why you're failing. Maybe you should listen to me now, huh? You want cred? That's cred right there.
What?
Yeah, the downside is that they want everything to be spooky related, and I wish I could do that, but I'm limited in what I can teach. But they want everything horror adjacent.
What grade is it that you teach?
Currently, it's 8th grade. I had to take a middle school gig when I moved down to South Carolina. High school is what I taught for the last 5 years, and that's more my comfort zone. So my plan right now is to take this high school gig next year, and it very well could be my last year in the classroom after Mean Spirited and The Exorcist House Genesis comes out this year. So we'll see.
That's wild. I love it. I love it. It's just, he said, I did what I wanted to do, and look what I did. Look what I'm doing. Look at me go. Look at people want to know, what is your favorite dinosaur? The hard stuff.
What is the name of that dinosaur that's in Jurassic Park that has the weird shit that shoots out the side of its neck and then it sprays Newman in the face with the acid?
That thing is so cool.
I know exactly. I don't remember.
Dilophosaurus, I don't know, but
you said Dilophosaurus. It sounds right.
Yeah, the acid Spitosaurus.
I'm sorry, but it's Nick Roberts, so wherever the hell he says the name is, that's what it is. Okay. He has that much credibility with me, okay?
Well, then ask him something else, Bobby. Ask him.
Oh, me ask away again? So how does it feel? Because I actually took you on the last St. Jude's trip with Carnival Cruise. And I was like, a good hunk of those people knew who Nick Roberts was. I mean, as soon as I said your name, they said Exorcist House. How does that feel to be Nick Roberts?
Honestly, it feels a bit surreal whenever I have people who know me around me and I get recognized. That's when it's surreal, because then, like, my wife, for example, when someone came up to me, they're like, "Are you Nick Roberts?" She looked at me in a completely different way. But it doesn't feel like I won the lottery. Like, I've literally worked my ass off every day. I've set daily word count goals. I try to market myself and do as much for my fans as I can. And when I put that much into it, it's been a gradual build up to, The Exorcist House sort of taking off in 2022 and Books of Horror. But you know, I feel like I don't know if this makes me sound arrogant or whatever, but I feel like I earned it because I put the damn work in. You know, it's not like I
Absolutely.
just sat back. When I wrote The Exorcist House, I wanted to get everything right, and over that summer, I read the entire Holy Bible. I read Milton's Paradise Lost and House of Leaves over and over, because I had to get in this mindset of space and dimension, and I wanted to get all the biblical stuff that I knew nothing about, and all of the demonology that accompanies Paradise Lost and Milton's lore and all that. So, you know, whenever I put all that work in and I see it paying off, that's what you know I value is the hard work, not so much the I don't know people recognizing me or anything like that. But you know, I don't know if that really answered your question.
No, he did good because one of the things that I really admire about you, just as a fan who this is the first time I really ever got to speak to you, is that you're always so very humble. You know, you're not. I think you get a lot of authors or actors or whatever out there. They get that little bit of fame and it goes to their head so quick. And here you are. I mean, you're so humble. I remember reaching out to you for the St. Jude's, and you were like, absolutely. And within days, you know, here's your book, hardcover, nice. I mean, he set St. Jude's up nicely, guys. But you're just always such a nice and just easygoing person. I really admire that about you.
No, that's impossible, Bobby. That's absolutely impossible. He's a horror author. He's got to be a monster. He's got, he's a demon. This book, look at it. It says it right there. The Exorcist. Is that a cross? That's a cross, Bobby. You've got one of them on our show tonight. You snuck him in here. He's a monster. Don't say all these good things about every show you stick up for these authors. I can't help this. It's a sin.
I noticed the other day on Amazon the obscure category that it's currently number one in is like Satanism and the occult. So
Wow.
you truly brought it on the podcast tonight.
Yeah, what a time to be alive. What's this? We're going to air this June 666 at what, 6? Yeah, sure. No.
I will say this, like that book was awesome, and it was so well written.
Thank you.
But I did sleep with the nightlight.
Is that fancy stuff behind you?
Because that's just one of those things that like scares me.
Yeah, my litmus test when writing scary thing, and I know scary is subjective, but whenever I'm writing, I don't plot out anything. I sit there and, you know, I have a general idea of what I want to do, but that never pans out. But I sit there and I just watch the movie sort of unfold in my head.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said earlier, I started out screenwriting, so I'm very visually minded when I write. So I'm seeing it, I'm just watching it, and I feel like I just kind of zone out and go on autopilot and just kind of channel the imagery and what's going on, what I'm seeing in my mind. And when I scare myself, and whenever I get the chills, that's my litmus test as to whether or not, oh, okay, that scene's going to work. Like, this is a minor spoiler, but for The Exorcist House, but like there's a scene where one of the characters is in a tent and he hears something, and I couldn't come up with this line of dialogue. I needed it to be a creepy line of dialogue because there's this thing creeping up behind him in the tent, and he hears it. He knows it's coming, and I needed it to nail this one line. And when it said it in my mind, I was like, "Ooh, that's freaking weird!" Like I'm typing that.
Nick, for any young authors, like, you know, my boy, he got this little book out, or any new indie author, what's your best advice just to keep them from not giving up? Because it's obviously a hard thing to get into. To just write a book is hard. What's your best advice to Anybody?
I'll plagiarize Joe Hill's advice because he said he had to write 6 shitty books before he wrote one good one. And I don't know if he published those books or not, but that really sank in and gave me the confidence to write Anathema, my first book. And then also Clive Barker, his advice is to always be unapologetic, because if you hold back, they're going to sense that you're doing it for shock value. If it's unapologetic and it serves the narrative, it resonates so much more. So when I sat down to write Anathema as a new writer, writing my first novel, you know, I was a teacher. This is my first year teaching, and I had my first summer break. And I was like, wow, I literally have, you know, like 2.5 months off. I have time. All the excuses are gone. So I just randomly looked up how long is the average horror novel, and it said between like 70 and 90,000 words or something like that. So I said, okay, I'm going to write 1,000 words a day. Every day at 10 in the morning, I'm going to be sitting in front of my MacBook, and I'm not going to get up until I hit 1,000 words. And I did that, and I had a manuscript. And like you said, I thought the hard part was over. You know, I wrote a book, and I was like, wow, yes, I hit the end. Now I'm done with it. Yay, now I can be an artist.
Next, where's my awards? What's going on?
Yeah. And whenever I sent it out, I queried so many agents first, got rejection after rejection. And then I went for the bigger indie houses, rejection after rejection. And then finally on it was November, I forget what day, I got an email early in the morning, and it was from Jay Ellington, Ashton Press, and out in Texas. And they said that they loved the book and they wanted to release it. And the fact that I didn't have to put any money into it, that they were going to, you know, work with me on the cover, they were going to edit it, they were going to format it, and I was just going to sit back and collect royalties and sell author copies, that made me feel so great. And then whenever it came out in January of 2020, COVID hit, and we canceled like all of the appearances, all the signings, everything.
Sure,
like that.
all the physical, all that going out to the show.
Yeah, I mean, it just dismantled everything. I got really discouraged, and but I love writing so much that I realized at that time, I was like, I would be writing whether or not people were reading it. I'd be doing it just because I love to do it. So the next year, the next summer break, I wrote The Exorcist House. And as I was writing it over the summer, the Horror Authors Guild awarded me the debut novel of the year for Anathema. And that kind of gave me this big boost in confidence to keep going. And then Crystal Lake Publishing ended up picking up The Exorcist House, and took off from there.
I just got to know, is it true right here? What I read, your words, Jason, I rooted for you when you fought Freddy. Stay spooky. Is it true? Did you go for me? Did you go for Voorhees? Or did you take Krueger?
Yeah, I mean, this is a Jason Wu-Tang mask that I have. Wu-Tang Clan Jason right up here.
Ain't nothing. I got Freddy and Jason tattooed on my back like my angels, and I love it. Oh, spooky.
Yeah,
you can't be, because you're an English teacher. You're a nerd. You can't be spooky and cool too.
If you're a Freddy guy, then one of the producers who holds the rights for Anathema is Jonathan Craven. So he's Wes's son, and it's been surreal working with him over the last over the last year or so, trying to get Anathema off the ground and running, and then this whole writer strike and authors strike
right
in Hollywood. And
well, speaking of that, hold on, I got the producer going. So we're gonna take one break, and we'll be right back with Nick Roberts.
We've been talking today with people who say they're obsessed and in some cases in love with serial killers and murderers. And then you've met some of the family, some of the victims. Now meet Hart. Hart publishes serial killer comic books. This one, Boneyard Press, Spreading the Fear in '92. And he says that violent crimes happen all the time, and his comic books don't add to the problem. This is a Jeffrey Dahmer. Is it a Jeffrey Dahmer edition of the comic books? Have there been more than one, or is this it?
There's been a few other serial killer comics that I've done, yes. You've heard
The parents of two of Dahmer's victims. You have given us a quote that says, why don't Shirley and Catherine just go home and heal instead of spending their time talking to the media? Why do you feel that Shirley and Catherine should not have talked to us?
Basically, the only reason they're here is so you can profit directly on their pain live while it happens right here. That's the only reason they're here. You brought them here for one reason.
You're the one that's profiting. She's not profiting.
I'm not profiting anything. She's making thousands and thousands of dollars by you crying on TV, suffering on TV. I did a comic book about a killer as a journalistic exercise.
You must know that I work for a company. That we do not like your comic book.
The whole talk show industry is based on festering wounds. You take people, you exploit them right there. That's what you're really interested in, Sally, huh? The bottom line is your pocket.
All right. We are back, and I got Grace. She is on me. All right, so I gotta say, you're so disciplined. You're so disciplined, and like, is that instilled from like your upbringing, where it's like you got your schedule? Or is that just your like? That's just you. That's just
No,
he does not. I love it.
That's so spooky. You see it? You see the doll?
Oh my God.
We love it. She's got brothers that do the same thing. Like, hey, look at this! Look at this! But no, I mean, that discipline, was that something that you were raised with? You were just like, I'm set out to write. I want to work like this. I'm going to do chick every day until I'm done with a project. I'm going to do this at 10 o'clock every day.
No, not at all. I was growing up. I was very laid back. I didn't really, I was not self-motivated, and I'm very open about my past, and about age 15 through 25, I was completely derailed by substance abuse. And it wasn't until 2012 that I kind of got my act together. And the work that I had to put into my recovery, that's what set the discipline and gave me the work ethic of having to do something daily if I wanted to get it finished.
Yeah. Otherwise, what else are you going to go right back to doing,
Yeah. So just being in the habit of having a goal in mind and a belief that you can achieve it. I mean, once I overcame that obstacle, writing a book didn't seem that insurmountable.
Especially if you're at 10 o'clock, you're at the keyboard and ready to go. And
yeah. I'm kind of OCD about that. And it's the same way with exercising. If I don't do it, I feel like I've just wasted an entire day. And the downside about having to write during the school year and write at night is that I'm not content until I have put in my 1,000 words. So everybody in my life until about 9 p.m. has to suffer with my crankiness. Because I'm just like, I have to get this out. Like
it's worse than being hangry, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's so much worse. It's like if it's reading or especially if I'm editing my own stuff, when I'm like reading what I was doing the other night or 2 nights ago, I'm like, wait a minute, what did I do? And like, when somebody starts a conversation, I'm like, I'm sorry I exist to anybody right now. Bobby, pick his brain. I know you wanna.
I do. I can't believe we have Nick Roberts here on the show. Go ahead, Chris.
Okay. So, anthologies. Do you, when people come to you with requests and stuff, do you, do a lot of those?
Yeah, it depends on my availability at the time, and it's crazy to go from begging to be in an anthology just for exposure to getting invited ahead of time without even knowing what I'm going to submit and getting paid a professional rate for it. And but right now with anthologies, I've had the last one I was in, I believe, was for Sinister Smile Press. I wrote a short story, and I just wrote one for the Books of Horror Community Volume 4, I think it was. But yeah, when I'm writing a novel and I've got contracts that I've signed and deadlines that I've met or I have to meet, and I've been paid advances already, it's hard to put a pause on that and then focus on a short story. Now, once I finish a short story, finish a novel, a short story is a great palate cleanser. And I'm also doing Patreon, which right now part of my Patreon is releasing a part of a novella each month. I'm about to end that novella, and I've decided that I'm going to be releasing a short story each month, and hopefully that'll actually build into another collection that I can release. So
amazing.
Yeah.
The artwork, all that artwork on your covers. Oh my goodness.
Thank you. That's something I'm trying to really maintain control on is having physical oil on canvas or watercolor or whatever, like real art as my cover art.
AI does not exist to Nick Roberts. Absolutely not.
I mean, there are like The Exorcist House and Anathema and It Haunts the Mind. None of them are paintings. They're all digital, but they're digital, but they're created by digital artists who go in there and modify and draw and put in the work. It's not an AI image whatsoever.
No, it's how it's done.
Yeah,
yours are just album covers, dude. They're absolute album covers.
Matt Seth Barnes, he did that and It Haunts the Mind. And to watch his process, like he'll send me updates to see it go from step one to what you're holding in your hand is amazing. But now that I've gotten to this certain point where I can find new artists or work with artists I've always wanted to have on my covers, I think I'm going to be a physical medium guy from here on out, because my favorite cover of all time is Bret Easton Ellis's American Psycho, that beautiful cover with the guy in the suit and then the distorted bloody thing. Yeah. So
I love it. We had talked earlier, and the guy had said his favorite was Fear and Loathing, and I'm like, that's just something totally different, and I love it. It's something totally whipped and twisted.
So Bobby and I are actually working on a anthology. We're wanting to do one for children and one for adults, but we basically want one author to write each story. So it'd be kid-based story, and then you would write an adult version with basically the same story with adult content. Would that be something that you would be interested in?
Depends on the time frame. When would you need it?
I think Bobby and I were talking about probably in September, and then releasing it for Halloween.
Sign me up.
Okay.
Oh yeah!
Nice.
Oh my God, we're gonna have Nick Roberts. Okay, so
I bet that book's gonna go on a cruise there, Bobby. That thing would be.
It will, because I love my fake dude.
You love your rubber duckies.
Yes, Nick, where can we find you?
Right there. He's right on the corner of the screen. Bobby, we do this all the time. You just need to look at this. It's the same screen. We're all seeing the same thing.
It's swap. Where can we find you on social media and your books for everybody else out there? We know where to find you.
Yeah. You can always start with my website, www.nickrobertsauthor.com, and I'm on all the socials, most active on Facebook, and pretty much all of my handles on the socials are at Spooky WV, as in West Virginia, because that's where I'm from. That's what my company's called. So yeah, Twitter Twitter's the only one that's not, but like TikTok at Spooky WV, Instagram, all that stuff.
Awesome.
Amazing. Okay, guys, I think we are heading for a commercial break. Nick, oh my God, thank you so much. We absolutely adore you here.
May your daughter's Swifty dreams come true tomorrow. I know my mom's rooting for the Chiefs as well. I love the Kelsey brothers. I mean, how can you not like those guys? They're great.
Yeah.
Thank you again, Nick. And this is right now where I'm at. This is where I'm at. I'm halfway through. I love it.
Thank you.
Have a great night, bud.
All right, you all too.
Holy cow.
Wow, ladies, that is great. That was cool. That was I heard y'all did a pitch. That was great. I was gonna ask him a question for an upcoming thing, and you went that, and they hit it, and it was great. Look at you guys go. Nick Roberts, just talk to us, guys. And I know you got to see Cora. So I know,
I know Cora is just too adorable for home. And then what's cool, even little Gracie made an appearance. So it's like double.
There's so many kids everywhere, and normally Kristen's the one up there with a dog on her face all the time. I love it.
Yeah, I'm so excited. And oh my God, you know, we forgot to ask him.
What's that?
If he was going to be going to any of the conventions coming up.
Well, I'm glad you didn't, because I was going to remind you that one of our upcoming shows is going to be the AuthorCon show. And I know you're going to have all these questions that people are going to be like, oh, what does he like this, or follow up with this and this. And I'm going to make you guys go ask everybody all these questions at these conventions when you run into these people.
Can you believe Nick just agreed to be in one of her?
You know, I was so scared to be like,
Yeah. But he's into all the spooky.
No, guys, he's such a nice, incredible guy. I mean, seriously,
And so you get
everybody needs to be like Nick.
and I had no idea that he was a teacher. And
I did. I actually did know that he was a teacher.
Absolutely.
But oh my God, he's just so amazing. Why everybody needs to be just like Nick? I'm gonna make t-shirts. Everybody be like Nick.
Just be that guy. Nick is
just like
him. That's what my kids say. I think I'm saying that right. He is him.
He's awesome. I'm so glad he got to come on and talk.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was.
What's cool is we are the coolest friends around, because we get to do this because we're all actually friends, love each other, and we're doing something so cool, like interviewing people like Nick freaking Roberts.
Yeah, and you're scrolling anyway, so why not just sit back and watch something and talk to them, listen and pick their brains and find out why their favorite dinosaur is what it is. You know, who knows?
And I did look up that dinosaur. That is what it's called. The Dilophosaurus.
See, he can do no wrong.
He can't. Nick can do no wrong. I'm telling you what.
Roberts does no wrong. He is him.
He is everything. He could tell me the sky is lime green. I'm going to be like, yes. If Nick Roberts says it's lime green, it's lime green. I'm sorry.
You got it.
I definitely. I'm gonna.
All right, let's
about some events and stuff, and because if he's going to be at the AuthorCon, because I mean that's like right next door to him.
Yeah. Plus,
so cool.
I was looking at this. Okay, so we know people who are like, oh, you know what? Who else could they talk to? We talked to Stuart Bray. You can click on Stuart Bray. You can catch up with him. You can talk to Hart Fisher. You can catch up with him. We can talk about Derek Cloud. You can be able to rewatch Ronald Kelly.
I know.
Next week. Ronald Kelly. Next week, which is actually last week because we're in the time vortex again and somebody won the Super Bowl, but I don't know who it was again, ladies.
I know. We even had Merle on here. This is
it's insane.
What are we doing, guys? We got the best job in the whole wide world.
Oh, not bad. Not bad. Well, Chris, you want to say good night to everybody or good afternoon to everybody, however you want to do it? You want to lead us out of here?
You're great at that.
You want me to do it?
Yeah.
All right, fine. For everybody that tuned in tonight, I hope you have an enjoyable evening and that you sleep in the comfort of whatever the hell it is that Chris is sleeping in up there, because it looks like she's about to go drift off to the best sleep of their entire life. Look at that, bam. She's in a cloud. May all of you live all your dreams in a cloud. Good night, day, whatever.
Yo. I'm straight up out the grave like gang. Gang grave, step up to ZC and get your face. Ain't these lanes stay until the day they test fade. In the best way, you need to peep my fucking hex game. My pain locked in my brain, well I changed my faith in our fate. Dog, it won't sway, and I pray that I stay this damn engaged till the day you can say we rich as fucking Bruce Wayne. I'm a known beast with no leash, though don't speak on ZC. If your rhyme's weak, you might meet a mic fiend with some pipe dreams that might be rigged with some shit to make your mind leak. Come try me. I'm a monster who got bars, so fuck charts. I'm a rock star on the top floor. We set it off. Omen's clock's hard. The bark sparks. So please be warned that we waited patiently for years.
That's why you catch me East Coast stepping. Local urban legend. Zombie coat the gang. Walk with the horde if you reppin'. Hatchet stay swinging. Fuck around and you'll be headless. Cut off at the top like Tetris. We at your throat like a necklace. Omen make them panic. They frantic. Can't hardly stand it. He's manic. He's got depression. But six is an adolescent. And he beat. He touchy wreck it. Here to teach you a lesson. You'll regret it. Hip hop said that's why we've been resurrected. You all think that we vanished, but we've been laying low, planning on taking over the planet. We need to eat till we famished. We took a crash course and landed, so never take us for granted. The whore keeps getting expanded and every one of them reckless.